Hello, fellow union brothers and sisters of SEIU Local 503. My name is Avery Horton, and I'm a home care worker. I'm over here on the SEIU pros and cons page, and I want you to take a look at the message of support from Brian Rudiger, the executive director of SEIU 503. And you see, let's just look at his statements and pick them apart. Do you think union members, not the legislator, should decide how our union operates? Well, you see, once again, what we have is a false dichotomy. You see, the legislature is going to determine how everybody in the state operates. And then within the law, the union can decide how it operates. So you see here, that question is basically a nonsensical question. It just really is. Now, next one. Do you want safeguards on how your personal information is shared and used? Okay. Why don't you tell us what the safeguards would be and how they would work and how they would actually guard our personal information? Does this mean that nobody gets to use it except union leadership? I mean, explain exactly what you mean by this. What are the safeguards? How do they protect the information? You know, when will the information be shared and used? And who will get to use it? Under what circumstances? You see, once again, this is basically an appeal to emotion, not the logic and reason. Going to the ample frequently asked questions. I think I've already been on that page. And once again, they just say things, but they don't prove anything. And I just called this number, and nobody answered the phone. Okay, now the arguments against this common sense change. Oh, wait a minute. You have to prove that this is common sense. I don't see this as common sense. You're calling it common sense doesn't make it so. Now it says, is based on a misunderstanding of the law or an outright falsehood. So wait a minute. Misunderstanding of the law. Cite the law. Explain the law. Don't just make things up. Falsehoods. Well, why don't you say, here's a falsehood and here's the proof why it's false? But they don't do that. They just want you to say, you know, listen to what I say, believe it, don't question it. Okay, well, here we go again. What they have in common is an underlying idea that the 50 member leaders elected to our board of directors are either motivated by bad intentions. Well, you're saying that's an underlying idea, but that's not the idea at all. Or aren't smart enough to make their own decisions. No, that's not what we're saying. That's not what I'm saying. I can speak for myself. No. What I want to know is, I want all the facts. I don't want to be rushed, and I want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. But you see, not smart enough to make their own decisions? Well, you know, that is up for debate, but we can save that debate for another time. Bad intentions, we can debate that too. Because when the union leaders keep, perpetuating false dichotomies, I have to wonder about their intentions and their ethics. It says, this is a disservice to the thousands of volunteers. Are we talking about members or are we talking about somebody else? Our union running and winning. Winning what? A race? This doesn't make any sense. Once again, it's just talk. It's appeal to emotion. It has no meaning, has no substance, has no logic or reason to it. And then finally, he says, those making such arguments. Now, here's where we start in with the personal attacks. You see, this isn't about the people. This isn't about the people saying no. It's about the issue. But this is just a diversionary tactic that's always used. You attack or kill the messenger so we won't talk about the message. Let's get the messenger defending themselves so we don't have to, so that, the union leadership doesn't have to defend their position in the issue. This is just so obvious to those who know how the game is played. You see, advocating for revenue, none of this has anything to do with this vote. This is just a distraction. For your privacy, I don't think so. For your voice, you squashed my voice. You rescinded my invitation or my registration to lobby days because you didn't want me to speak my voice. You wanted me to speak your voice, what the union leadership crammed down my throat, and I spit it out. No, I have a brain. I have my own opinion. I have my own ideas. I have my own solutions. So, you see, once again, this is just talk. Just talk. No proof. They offer no proof. They offer no substance. They just want you to believe what they say. Are their intentions bad? Well, it depends on how you want to define bad intentions. If their intentions are to keep you from accessing information that the law and the bylaws say you're entitled to, then I would have to say their intentions are bad. I would have to say their intentions are bad if they collect, non-union members' private and personal information without those non-union members' permission. I would have to say those are bad intentions. And I've already proved on another video that that's what's going on. You see, when I make a claim, I can back it up with proof, with evidence, with facts. But they never do. They just talk. And so, that's why I'm saying I oppose this. So far, I think I've made a dozen or so videos on different points. Sometimes some of the same points. But the thing is, I back everything up. I show you how it's done so you can go look for yourself. I show you where the information is. I don't make up numbers. I don't make up laws. I point them out. But union leadership says no. Just listen to what we say. Do as we tell you to do. And, that's just how they want it to be. And for what reason? There's only one reason. They want control. It's not that they want to protect the information. They want to control it. And by controlling the information, they can control you by keeping you in the dark, keeping you uninformed, keeping you ill-informed, and keeping other people from giving you their side of the story, giving you facts, giving you evidence, giving you data, so you can come to your own conclusion. They don't want that. They want you to just vote yes because they told you to. They don't want you to think about it at all. And so once again, Brian, I challenge you to a debate on the issues. And Stephen, the president, you too, the whole board, against me, one against them all. I challenge you to a debate, a fair debate on the issue. And if you bring something up, I challenge you to prove it. Don't just say it. Anything you say, you have to prove. You have to show the documents. If you say somebody is lying, show the document where the lie is. Show the document or the data or the evidence that refutes the so-called lie. And if you can't do it, then you lose that point. It's that simple. But I doubt that you'll take me up on this challenge because you can't. You can't refute the claims I make. Because I have the data, I have the facts, I have the evidence, I have the proof. You cannot refute my logic. So, fellow brothers and sisters of SEI, Local 503, once again I urge you to vote the way you want to vote and not the way union leadership tells you to vote. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening.